We are going music free, and we are also welcoming views of YouTube. I'm going to upload this video to YouTube tomorrow, so hopefully some of you YouTube guys can come across at some point. I usually stream around 11:30 PM UK time till around 2 AM. Sometimes it's a little bit later start, a little bit later finish, but that's my stream times. If you want to come across and join the stream live, get involved in the chat, please do. You can find the link to Twitch beneath the stream. So without further ado, let's load up some tables and get busy. I have been doing absolutely tons of work between sessions on getting players tagged, getting used to, sorry if you can hear some background noise, the cat's decided to choose this moment to be a dickhead. I've been tagging players galore. You'll see lots and lots of players tagged. If a player isn't tagged, it means it's very likely I've got less than 50 hands on him, or it's someone I've got more than 50 hands on, but I haven't come across recently in like the previous 4 or 5 days, because I've been avidly tagging. There's not going to be loads of strategy for the YouTube viewers who maybe enjoy more strategy talk than you might get in this video. There's going to be a lot more interaction, hopefully, with the busy chat box. If there isn't a busy chat box, then things could get a little bit dull from time to time, I guess. Fucking old cat, behave. I don't know why she chooses to do this. She must just know when I start recording, and then she decides, you know what, I'm going to be a dickhead for half an hour. Irma Laduce with the shark tag is one of the only people I've got tagged as a shark. Shark is like my ultimate praise for a player. I think he's absolutely one of the best players in this pool, if not the best. And I don't go out of my way to tangle with him. I'm going to check call this turn with the overpair and the weakish flush draw. We're not going to value bet the river. I don't think there's too much value to be had here, but we could easily consider check calling. Now he just checks back. And for those of you who haven't been watching the stream lately, I've commented time and time again on just how passive these games are, and how I now have a very strict do not pay off policy, even in smallish pots. If I think there's this very little chance my opponent's bluffing, if there's no obvious draws that I've missed, if there's no obvious bluffs that they can have in the range, then I'm just not paying off. I'm just folding incredibly tightly, and I think that's a very appropriate way to approach these games, given that what I've seen over the last week or so playing these games is just almost no bluffing. It's just not, I'm just not seeing it. So if I don't think people are bluffing with anywhere near the correct frequencies, which I don't believe they are, then trying to bluff catch with some of my really weakest bluff catchers makes no sense. So I'm just doing a lot more thin value betting, or some more thin value betting in hands in the spot in the past when I maybe would have gone for a check call line. Now I'm either check folding or just betting. Usually if I'm checking rivers out of position, it's with a view to check folding, which is pretty damn exploitable, but it's something I'm not concerned about, because I don't think there's many people in this pool that are looking to exploit people. They're just there playing the cards. If they make a hand, they're going to make some bets. If they don't make a hand, then they're usually relatively happy to just check it down. Does feel weird playing without any music. 9-3 offsuit. That's why you have the fish tag, sir. Not going to barrel the jack 10 after we get check called. The 7 is clearly not a particularly enticing card to barrel on. We're going to make a small value bet here. I'm not just going to check it down. Hopefully it looks it up with an 8, or Who knows? Pocket 9s, 6x. Who knows? Just something. Just look us up, please. That's what we're saying there. Look us up, but don't raise. People in chat, by the way, if the lack of music does bother you, if you'd rather have some background music, I have no issue. This is very much a trial. If after 20 minutes people are saying no, we think we prefer some music, I will absolutely start playing some music. I have no opinion either way. I think if I had to choose, I'd probably rather play music when I'm playing. I think it's better for Twitch that we play music, but it means you can't export to YouTube, which I don't care about because I've got other things I can do on YouTube, so it's not a fucking massive deal if I don't export to YouTube. I know there are some people who like to watch like the following day and they get frustrated when some of the music's copyrighted and they can't. There's large portions of the audio blocked out. I don't think there's any way around it. We either say we're having music and deal with that happening, or we just don't have music. I'm already starting to feel like maybe I'd like some music, but we'll see what people think. Good evening, Mark. At last we have a conversation. I know you've been in the last few nights and you said that you logged in and then just like gone to bed, which is, I don't know if you've been insulted by that or just thank you for the watch. I don't know. It's pretty funny though. Mark meet Emily, by the way. Emily is Tiger Mummy, somebody who I've done some work with in the past, an all-round good egg, although she does vote Conservative, which is a major issue. I wonder if she could ever be turned. We're not going to go super political tonight because it's boring as shit and it's Twitch poker, but Emily, do you think you could ever be persuaded to turn away from the dark side, love, and vote for the good guys? And please, we don't have to get into it. It's just a simple yes/no answers required. We don't need reasons why you should or shouldn't. I'm certainly not going to make any. I just wonder, are you dyed in the wool, or are you a potential turnarounder for the right people? Yeah, but as Tories go, she seems like a good one to me. I'm going to go biggish or bigger on this turn card because it's not a card I barrel very often. So if it's not a card I'm going to bet very often, when I do bet it, I may as well bet it bigger because I've got like less hands to protect. And now, what do I think he's got here? Limp called pre. He hasn't got a full house, I don't think, has he? I don't think he's got a full house. Maybe he's just got a king. If he raises, I'd be sick, but if he just calls, we just always win. He did just call. King Jack. Okie dokie. Still running good. It was unreal how well we ran last night. We just kept making monster hands and just kept like winning monster pots. The only big pot we really lost, and we lost two big pots, but one of them was Jacks versus Aces, all in pre-blind versus blind. Other than that, it was just pretty smooth sailing. Well, we got off to a flyer. After 600 hands, we won all our money. Then we spent another maybe 700 or 800 hands, kind of breaking even, but nevertheless, banging in. I think it was another plus 8.5 buy-in session, which is my second in 4 days, which is pretty sweet. It's obvious a few losing sessions will be somewhere around the corner, but the longer we can hold them off, the better. This is kind of thin with the ace. We lose sometimes to some 2 pairs. It just doesn't want to bet. We lose to better aces. Lose to king jack. I think we need to bet still. And we did lose to a better ace. Oh, that's it. When you sometimes go for thin value, you end up owning yourself. Just kind of way it is. That's some carpenters saved up specially for you, Emily, too. Because Brendan was saying last night what a big fan you are of the Carpenters, so we're gonna play some more for you tonight. But never mind. If you're fine without the music, then so am I. Why the fuck did I c-bet that flop? Am I on drugs? I wasn't even concentrating. It wasn't a terrible c-bet by any stretch, but it wasn't a good one. I'm going for a slightly bigger 3-bet versus the unknown, slightly more than 3x. Fish donking into us, just going to raise here for pure value and not fold if he jams. Is it generally a soft play pool this time? Now, it depends, Mark. It varies. It genuinely does. I mean, there's some nights you come in and I just don't want to play because it's all regulars. Sunday I almost didn't play because I couldn't see many weak spots. Deuce 8. Well, there you go. That's where he has that blue tag. Not much we can do about that. I mean, it's called a 3-bet with Deuce 8 suited and then donked into us. I'm not going to beat myself up for losing that one. Yeah, it's difficult to say, Mark. I mean, the last 2 or 3 nights have been really soft, to be fair. Before that, not so soft. I think generally speaking, though, this time of night's the best time of night to play. Playing between like 11 PM to 3 PM UK time is going to be the softest time. Some of the Eastern Europeans are fucked off to bed for the night. Canada starts coming online. UK players are still online. Western Europe are still up, Eastern Europe's in bed, and like South America and North America are coming in, like Canada. So yeah, it's without doubt the best time to play on this site. Unibet and Sky, I'd say earlier in the evening is best, and maybe GG through the day when there's more Asians online during the daytime due to the time differences. More chance of me playing full ring poker. I'll take that as a very, very resounding no then, Emily. Starting to see a link here, Emily. You've been in every stream except the really profitable ones. And then I get me aces or my kings cracked by 8 deuce suited. Starting to see a link, Emily. And if these aces go down as well, then you know we need to discuss whether you're a welcome presence, don't we? You just need to keep betting this versus pot roost, and if he's like flop to set or 2 pairs or whatever. I don't think he's going to have too many 2 pairs. He's going to be mostly sets then. Good for him. You have to jam here. You can have jacks and queens and ace 10, king 10. Isn't snap called, which is good. pretty horrible flop there for the jacks. Very much in check fold mode. Eight-2 mark. What do you think of that 8 deuce? We play with some pretty bad players in our Saturday home game, but I don't think any of them are playing the 8 deuce to the 3-bet out with a big blind. That would have been a very good answer, Emily. I'd have been a big fan of that answer in terms of the comedy value. Not a big fan of the statement in general, of course. Yeah, he called out the big blind, Mark. Cut off opened. We 3-bet to 9.6 big blinds, I think, and he called, and then had the audacity to donk into me, which I thought was especially special. Not sure why I'm fucking with this guy, but he's folded. You'll know as much as I do, Emily, about how the tables are running tonight, because I don't play a second off stream at the moment, so you listen for yourself. Pretty good flop here. We're not going to check raise, though. I tend not to check raise on ace high boards, because when people have an ace, they tend not to fold. So yeah, he's going to go for the check call against the donkey, especially this deep. Good news, bad news turn. I guess we're just in check call down mode now. I hope not to get raised on this river, because if we do, I'm going to be a little bit sad. These donkeys can just like check back an ace and raise a river and things, so depending on his size we might have to call if he does raise. Now, if the snap call comes in a 3-bet pot when you've gone bet and you've only got one pair, then yeah, you're dead. You're pretty much stone dead. Occasionally they might just have like whatever top pair good kicker or something, but usually you can be expecting to be in like pretty rough shape. I'm going to bet my set of 8s over here. We lose to 9x, but I'm going to bet it anyway. And then the 9 comes on the river and we are chopping or losing. And I don't want to check call. No point in betting. I guess we just have to give up. If he bluffs, it's 9. At least he didn't get us killed by the rake by betting. It used to really tilt me years ago when like straight on board and people would like overbet jam, like just to try and like get you off the chop and stuff. I don't mind if they're overbet jamming trying to get the call when they've got like a higher straight that's on board or something, but yeah, used to bug the shit out of me. Like there's a 10 jack ace queen king on board and there's like no flush potential. Some cunt goes all in like a fucking 15 blind pot or something. Could check raise here on table 1 with the 2 overs and the gut shot versus the donkey. Our friend's gone broke now, bad looks of things. Not surprised really, are we? I don't think we're too surprised by that. Good evening, Paul. How's tricks? Hope you're well. Hope the session's been treating you good. if we get called here with this check raise, we're not continuing unimproved, and if, of course, if we get re-raised, then obviously going to be folding. Yeah, he's just got a set, hasn't he? He's got a set all day, every day, twice on a Tuesday. When he like just calls and then like clicks it back just about, then there's nothing else to be said other than this dude's got a set. He'd be better off just calling there, really would be. Because he's just going to find himself in a set over set situation most of the time. When I jam on him there, I'm going to have like top set or middle set. So he should, in my opinion, should have shown more discipline and more restraint there, because he's never ever bluffing. That is literally never a bluff. It's just always. I'd go as far as say it's close to 100% a set, possibly top 2. Never a bluff, never just one pair when he uses that size. What is a donk bet? A donk bet is when somebody leads into you when you're the pre-flop raiser. So just say you raise from the button, and normally they would check to you, you would see bet. So when they bet into you, having just called pre-flop and they are first to act and they bet, that isn't a donk bet. I think there's times we can use it these days. It gets its like name from like, it's a sort of bet a donkey makes. It's a donk bet. It's a bet that a donk makes. But I think especially in these passive games, I think if you flop pretty good, there can be lots of cases made for leading straight out into the pre-flop raiser, particularly in multi-way pots. Maybe not in heads-up pots so much, but in multi-way pots for sure. There you go. Paul's beat me to it. You'll have read Paul's response before hearing mine. Look at this dude, he's loving it. Absolutely loving life. All in. Always all in. I'm going to 3-bet this guy with the 8s. He's very loose aggressive. Of course, when he jams, we're going to be hoping to be flipping. But he's just so loose 8s. He's just off that stack size. If he had 100 blinds, I would just call, but off that stack size, I'm not going to be second guessing him, third guessing him on flop. So he's going to get it in pre, because I'm pretty sure we can get it in reasonable shape. Any new names in the chat we can say hello to? Never used to take as long as this year's got Lord Trapper. Never seen you before, but I do like the screen name. I consider myself a bit of a trapper. Moose Toad, seen you before, but not really seen you getting too involved in the chat. Welcome to the stream, buddy. Joe's in as usual. Piccolo Pedro, never seen you before, dude. Welcome to the stream. Shawnee Pud, seen you many times. You're not that into the chat box, I don't think. And Emily. We raise our 2 pairs on the river here, don't we, against the fishy guy. get 3-bet, we just fold, I guess. Even though we do have top and middle pair. We've got a scratch card today. We've got a club scratch card. You get one every 5 levels that you move up. I was going to scratch it on the stream, but I'm way too fucking impatient. I scratched it and we got 1,500 gold coins, which is good for $15 rate back. We're just going to keep all the coins till the end of the stream sessions. Like we got, I think it's the 7th session, so we've got 7 more to go after this. I think it's the 7th anyway. And then we're just going to cash all the coins in one go and then add them to the final total. Squeeze the ace queen here. Don't stack off versus shuffle, but we will stack off against either of these two. Oh, Paul's tanking. That can't be good news. I think when I 3-bet to 16 here, he knows I have something. Good. Glad Paul got out of the way. Hopefully now he gets out of the way and then it's easy against these two. Not the best of flops, but I think we just bet and go with it. When if he does have a pair, then we'd still have 25% equity. We just get to fold any, like if he's got a hand like, I don't know, Jack 10 or something, we just get to deny him equity to draw to that by betting rather than checking. I mean, it's grim when he jams because we know we're beat, but we're going to have odds to call. And just having him fold like Jack 10 here is a really good result. King 10. If he folds pocket 3s, pocket 4s, obviously. Good evening, Joe. How's the grind been tonight for you, buddy? Hope it's been treating you well. Right, so Jack 10's missed here. Some clubs have missed. Do we... I mean, it's not useful that... Oh, this guy's an aggressive fucker. He's going to let the top pair go, though. It's not useful that we have clubs here. I'd rather have, like, ace 6 of spades. But do we just value bet to get value from it? Like ace X, do we check to let Jack 10 take a stab? Jack 10, other clubs. I think we're going to go for the check. Give him a chance to sometimes value bet worse, sometimes bluff. Made a pretty big bet. We're not going to raise, we're just going to call. And he just had the 5-7. Which check on the flop there did us really well. Allowed him to catch up a little bit on the turn, but not enough. And then he bluffed the river. Happy days. Happy with the line I took there. I think when we flop top pair and nut flush draw, it can be easy to get like super excited about the situation and start like lobbing bets in left and right. But I mean, if we get too much action, our kicker's rarely going to help us. And sometimes it allows people to bluff, value bet worse hands, semi-bluff, all of those things. I mean, no one loves a pair and a flush draw more than me, but it doesn't necessarily mean you always have to like fast play it like it's a royal. Interesting situation here. If Joe folds, we can either rejam or just fold. Joe's put a 4-bet in. If Joe hasn't got aces or kings here, I will eat my hat. kings. And he's been sucked out on. Fuck your life, Joe. Just fuck your life, sir. Sometimes I would 3-bet versus a fish in position with 10-9, but it looks like we haven't got anyone aggressive behind us, so happy to just see a flop. We have to bluff this river. It's unfortunate we've got spades because it blocks like his spade draws. So again, I'd rather have like a 9-8 or an 8-7 here without a spade to do this triple barrel. But that said, I mean, we have Jack High, we have no showdown value, and the King hopefully gives us some fold equity. Obviously, he's not, I'm not even trying to make him fold a 10 here. Ace High, worse than a 10. I don't know, pocket 6s, but sorry, pocket 5s, pocket 7s, those types of hands that might call twice on this board. I'm not expecting to fold a 10. If he's got a hand like ace 10, I would expect him to call with it, and I wouldn't blame him for it. I wouldn't think, oh, he's played that shit. But I mean, obviously if he's got pocket 8s, pocket 7s, pocket 5s, ace highs, things like that, get him off all of them. In fact, I don't even think I needed to bet that big. I don't blame him for calling with the 8-10. I think my bet was too big there really for what I was trying to achieve. I think we could have got away with betting 16 there and got a similar result. Yep, so a bit too big there for sure. Not short stackers in like the true sense of the word, Matt. There's no real, like, there's a couple of South American quote unquote pro short stackers like who play pretty tight, 3-bet pretty aggressively and only play off 40 blinds. But generally speaking, most of the guys without 100 blinds are going to be losing players for sure. Either just flat out fish, or sometimes just like regulars who are pretty weak and don't hand read well, don't reload. They just like, they've learned how to play tight, but they haven't really learned anything else. I don't know about this 7-5. I mean, he's got a bit big to get me off, hasn't he? He's got a bit big to like to try and put pressure on. If he'd used that bet size now, just had like an ace-6 that hadn't hit 2 pairs, then I'm in a rough spot. I mean, it was made very easy due to the fact all the draws missed and we rivered 2 pairs. So I don't necessarily hate his sizing. I think he could have made it slightly smaller and had a similar result, a bit like me with the Jack 8 a minute ago. For what he was trying to achieve, I think he could have achieved it for a smaller size like I could, but you know, we all make mistakes, don't we? But I mean, that guy's probably just a fish, and he's probably not even thinking that way. He's probably not thinking about what he's trying to make me fold. He's just trying to make me fold. He's not thinking, right, I'm going to use this size to try and make him fold this portion of his range. He's just thinking, I need to make him fold because I've got 7 high, and I'm going to try and achieve that by making a big bet. Triple 8 giving rate back. You've got to earn it, Emily. You don't get it for fucking nothing, lovey. You've got to earn it. You've got to put a lot of volume in for. I mean, I've paid $15 rate back, and we've probably paid like 130 in rake, so still only working out about 9 or 10%. What's my note on this dude? 18/14 low 3-bet. If this was, say, Queen Jack 7 and then the 7 paired, I think it's a good spot to just donk the turn and try and rep the 7. But we don't have much 2x in our calling range from the small blinds, so I don't think it's a particularly good time to try and do it. And we can conceivably have some 7x if it's Queen Jack 7. And there's some 7x we can definitely have, but not deuce, not the deuce. And I think we're just going to give up with the ace-9. Not the best to run out so bluffing. You're still losing, Joe. Come on, sir. Pull it together. Put yourself together. Let's book a winning session. What are you doing wrong, buddy? What do you think, if you were to say what you're doing wrong that makes you into like a player that struggles to win? What is it? What do you think your biggest leak is? Talk to me. This bet is so small with the ace-9. We have to call for chops. I mean, it's a ridiculous price. He had the full house. So our line of donking the turn would not have worked at all there. Interesting that he bets so tiny. I think it's a good size because I'm obviously never going to fold any kind of showdown value there with even pocket threes and things like that we'll be calling with. So I quite like his size in there. Did the job, did what he wanted it to do. Got some value, potentially could induce some like spewy bluffs from people who don't hand read too well. I'm not doing like a live stream one night of 5-0 or something and not give a fuck about getting sniped from time to time. That might be fun. Completely live, no delay. The lowest stakes possible, maybe 2-0 on PokerStars or something where I simply don't give a shit. And just have a complete live stream. This could be a 4-bet bluff candidate, the ace-6 suited. But again, we've got 18-14 with a low 3-bet. Now, he might not have a low 3-bet, it might just be my sample size that's saying it's low. But yeah, if we've got a note on someone saying they've got a low 3-bet, I'm going to have to listen to that or like, pay heed to that note until I have evidence to the contrary. We're going to call here and just hope this dude doesn't 4-bet. How many hands roughly an hour? I'd say 600 or so would be a rough estimate. Maybe 650, 700. Again, it varies from night to night. Like sometimes, obviously on nights where you're kind of like not getting too many hands that are worth playing, and you're not seeing too many turns and rivers, then you're going to play a lot more hands because you're going to be folding earlier. If you've got a night where there's tons of fish around and you playing like quite a few multi-way pots and reaching a few rivers, then you know it could be significantly different. I think on a bad night you may be getting, or on a good night in terms of like when the tables are good and you're getting to lots of rivers, then maybe you're only getting maybe 600 per hour. And on the nights where it's like a lot of regulars in and a lot of hands are ended pre-flop with 3-bets and things, and maybe you can get upwards of 700 in. There is plenty of juice in these games though, and my rake isn't that high because I'm quite a tight player. We're getting raked at less than 10 big blinds 100, so anytime I'm getting raked at less than 10 bigs 100, I don't think it's an excessive rake. But if you're trying to play loose aggressively on 888, then the rake's really going to hurt you badly, because that's when you know you really will start to punish you. If you're playing like way more hands than I do and you're bluffing way more post flop and being involved in way more big pots, then you're going to get, the rake's going to really punish you. I was playing on fast forward last year a little bit, and my friend was, when I was playing the same games, we were both playing 25 and L. My rake was like 6 blinds 100, something ridiculous like that, and his was something like 12.5. So his rate was like double mine. My VPIP was like 19, his was like 27, something like that. Makes an enormous difference how much rake you pay. We're not going to try and bluff pot roost here. He was absolutely not folding his 7-6. He should probably just see bet the flop, maybe. Maybe that was a mistake. Yeah, rake's a huge issue. People complain about rake, as they rightly should, because it is like, it's not high in percentage terms, but in terms of like compared to win rates, rake's really high. like if the average person's win rate is say like 2 or 3 blinds 100 and the rake's up at anywhere from 7 to 12 blinds 100, obviously it's incredibly high compared to win rates. But too many people, they just continue to like play in a way that ensures they pay like the maximum rake, and they play tons and tons of hands that they're barely showing a profit with, if showing a profit with at all, just to like be this loose aggressive superstar that they want to be. And it really, really hurts them. It hurts them massively. But they're still happy to call out nits, saying how stupid they are, how bluffable, how exploitable they are. And usually it's the nits that are paying the least rake, and they're usually having some of the highest win rates in these games. But folk don't want to hear it. They just don't want to hear it, because they want to play like the people who are making the videos at like 1,000 an L, who don't give a fuck about rake, because it rakes something like literally fucking 0.3 big blinds every pot. In my opinion, there's no reason to play a VPIP over like 24 in these games. I mean, mine's even lower. Mine's around 22. But I do make a few title for. I don't open the small blind as much as most people, for example. My button open range probably is tighter than most regulars. But all I'm doing is just like not opening some of like the weakest hands in my range at every position. So all I'm doing really is just folding a few of the weakest hands and increasing my win rate whilst reducing my rake bill. I mean, there's what's not to like about that. I'm going to bomb this turn here so we can jam the river, assuming it isn't a 6 or a 10. We need to go even bigger, don't we? We need to just about pot it, I think, if we want to jam the river. Oh well, if he's got the Jack 10, then more power to him. Just the Ace King drawing dead. Happy days. You pay off on the river too much. Well, that's easy to fix, Joe. Just stop it. Literally just stop it. If you can't think, you got to look at someone's range and say, yeah, I think they've got like this amount of bluffs in it. And you don't have to count them. No one's saying you've got to count the amount of bluffs. But if you can't legitimately see at least, you know, a few combinations of bluffs, they can have like obvious draws missing, things like that, then just don't pay off, buddy. Just make the fold. I say as I'm about to pay off and lose to the nut flush. I mean, we can't fold these 2 blinds. We lose almost always here to a higher flush. Yep. There's nothing much you can do there, but had he obviously raised much bigger, I would have easily folded. Yeah, not paying off. It's a mental game leak. It's not a technical leak for most people. It's just they don't want to. They're just frustrated and they call, or people want to see what's happened to them so they can like bemoan the luck. They can't believe the beat, so they just call. They know the beat, but they don't want to believe it. It's absolutely paying off rivers is much more of a mental game leak, assuming that you're not horrendous at hand reading, which I'm presuming that you're not. Yeah, but paying off, it's the absolute nut worst thing you can do in these games, because they're just so damn passive. I mean, you've been watching the stream a lot, Joe. I haven't paid off very often, but when I have paid off, unless there's been like a super coordinated board where everything's bricked, we've just been shown 2 pair plus, like literally close to 100% of the time. Yeah, and we get a few more on a snap session than we do on our Saturday home game. That's for sure, Mark. We've got the double deck thing going now though to try and speed it up, haven't we? And we've got no Bryn this week. This is a private chat between me and Matt. You guys can all listen, of course. There's no Bryn this week, so I think things will move along significantly quicker. I guess now we triple on this in a 3-bet pot. Unless he does something to make me not want to triple, like raise this turn or something. Can't see how we can raise, really. We have the nut blocker. He shouldn't have that many suited connectors in his range, although he's a fish tag, so I guess he can have more than usual. Yeah, Emily, you didn't like, you were like absolute like table captain, weren't you? You were having anybody get any bluffs past you. When you first came to me, I think you were in the sort of player who just didn't fold many winners. I mean, I probably fold tons of winners, or not tons, but a few. I don't think you're the type of player who folded too many winners, but it's a mental game thing. It really is. It's just discipline, isn't it? It's just real discipline. Just make the folds when you know when it's likely you beat. It's annoying. It's frustrating, but it's pure mental game problems. In most cases, unless you're like a totally inexperienced player who just doesn't understand the game at all. Check back the Ace Queen versus Joe, because I don't think he'll pay off 3 streets on that particular board texture, and now the red ones come. So now we just have to give up. If Joe's got like the Jack of Hearts, I'll be sad. If he's got like King Jack with the Jack of Hearts, it'll make me a little bit sad. King Queen. Imagine if that's like just like the Queen of Spades on the turn. Me and Joe get right into it. Don't think we're going to fall to Paul here. Inception is P Kingy in the chat. I don't think we're going to fold to him unless he squeezes huge. If he squeezes like 14 or something, probably fold. Been donked 2 here. Got bottom 2 pairs, which is pretty strong, but also very vulnerable on this board texture. Probably could have raised slightly bigger there actually. But that's fine. Raise his C-bet here. There's tons of draws we can have. And tons of bad cards for us for our actual hand. I'm going to check back this river now. Don't like the King of Clubs. Makes him some other 2 pairs. Makes him some straights. He just had the Ace-3. I think you can get one of these tags, my friend. You might win, Joe. You might just win this one, sir. Not anymore. You might not win anymore, buddy. And a 3-bet versus Feaster Bunny. Just to try and get heads up. Don't really want either of these 2 people squeezing in the blinds. Completely miss. So we're going to check back this flop and then think about betting some turns if he checks to us again. That seems like a good turn to want to bet on. Oh, happy birthday to Seth, by the way, Mark. I saw Christine post earlier. It was his 18-month birthday. I'm not sure we really want to get into marking half birthdays, but what the fuck, we'll do it anyway, because why not? how long till the Sky promo finishes? End of the month, will be. But I'm quite into this at the minute, so even at the end of the month, I don't think I'm going to be heading back to Sky, because it's easy for volume. It's such an easy stream. You don't have to, you're not fucking around changing tables constantly. We can just play the one limit consistently. So unless something goes horribly wrong between now and the end of the month, there's a very good chance that we're going to continue with these games, and possibly 50-0 next time, depending on if I decide to do another. If I do another stake, it's going to be a 50-0 stake, not a 30-0 stake. If I play off my own money, it's just going to be 30-0, because I'm not truly rolled for 50-0 these days. I'm not sure how soft those games are, but I'd want like at least 3,500 to 4,000 in my roll, and don't have that at the moment. Spent some money lately. I bought another new car for the weekend for the wife. It wasn't super expensive, but it was money we hadn't accounted for spending. Spent some money on the kids, this and that. So yeah, I'm not properly rolled for 50-0 at the moment, so it's either going to be a 50-0 stake, or it's going to be a 30-0 off my own money, or maybe even a 30-0 stake again. Fuck it, who knows. I don't really rely on poker. We talked about it before. I don't really rely on poker to form a big part of my income these days. With the private care work that we do, and I work for like 2 different companies with the care work, we get enough coming in where poker is just, if we make some money, then it's really nice. We can just bank it, and if we don't, then the bankroll just shrinks a little bit, I guess. So I don't know. Undecided. We might do like the last couple of nights, if we have like a really good time on the stream, we might do the last couple of nights at 50, just to like do a recce for next time. That is an appalling sizing. Just fold the ace queen. Not sure what to do with this ace-8 suited. I'm not a big fan of trying to bluff people with donkey tags, but at the same time, people with donkey tags typically don't check back king X on flops, so I'll go with like a 2/3 pot bet, just if he's got any pocket pairs, make him fold them. Ace jack, stuff like that. Ace 10. No comment, Mark. Absolutely no comment. But you are right, he's a cutie, but I'm not going to comment on whether you're a cutie or not. But one thing's for sure, you're not as much of a cutie as fucking Seth is. That's 100% certain. And I'm sure you won't mind me saying that. Normally the old joke is, you know, if he's got his mother's looks and his father's brains, he's going to be good, but Christine's such a fucking intelligent woman. That's not necessarily true. Not necessarily true in your family, is it? Maybe we hope he's got Christine's looks and Christine's brains and your cricketing skills. And for that 88, by the way, he wasn't born in 1988. It's his top cricket score, which is more than I've got in any innings I've ever played accumulated. The top set on table 3, sorry, but we can't really check raise it given the board's so dry, and we have top set. I mean, obviously he's got an overpair, we can get tons of value, but we can get tons of value from the overpair on later streets. Happy days that the Feaster Bunny decides to wake up. Need to call. He snap folded, which is a shame. He's going to bomb, we're going to jam. We're going to hope to win. Bomb 8. Yeah, he's committed now, isn't he? Stick the rest in now, kid. Oh, he folded. What the fuck? Oh, I was too complacent there, wasn't I? How can he like check raise, bomb the turn, and like put like 60% of his stack in, and then not have a hand that can call? Wow. Did not expect that. I just presumed he was committed. Presumed he had like pocket tens or the underset or something. That's disappointing. Our volume is dreadful on Sky. There are people on there that get tons of it, don't get me wrong. But yeah, if you're a volume guy, for me, there's better places to get volume. Interesting if he raises here. If we block Jack Queen pretty hard. Well, not hard, but we block Jack Queen. So we have trips. Wow. Just take a little moment here. First time we've done this on stream. Sit out both hands, and we've got 62 seconds to decide what the fucking hell to do here. We're getting less than 3 to 1 on our money. We do block Jack Queen. We lose to King 10. We lose to Ace King. We beat King Jack. We lose to King 9. Wow. What do you think, chat? This guy's got stats of 24/4. So he's 24/4. Flop, we just like, he called, he opened, call, etc. I think the flop went check through. I bet turn, he calls. I bet river, he jams. What are we doing, chat? Don't like it. Do not like it. Let's look back through that one a minute so we can make sure we didn't miss any of the action. Well, that was a funny one. Raise call. I mean, I probably could have squeezed pre. Maybe you should have. Flop trips. Check. Check. Checks through. We bet the turn, obviously. He just calls. We bet the river, and he jammed pretty quick. I'm happy with the fold there. I don't see what we beat. I don't see what bluffs he has. Ace, Queen, Ace, Jack, maybe. Then we beat like King Jack, King 8 suited, King 7 suited, but maybe he just calls with them. Yeah, no one likes folding trips. Good kicker, but I'm not disappointed with that. Good evening, Brendan. Are you supposed to be working, Brendan? I like the fact that you are meant to be working, but you've managed to somehow pop into the stream. And I really hope it's because you're time stealing. Fucking massively hope it's because you're in work and you are not giving a fuck and you are time stealing off them. I'd like that a lot. I hope it's not because you're at home because you broke your fucking leg or something. 15 stakes sounds fun. Yeah, and then what's more, the games run more too. We open the lobby a minute and you see that's 28. It's consistently getting more runners than 13 Ellies. And it's got Eggy, which is always a bonus. But I don't know. We'll have a little look at the end. I mean, if we're still doing well at the minute, as you can see, we've ran it up by close to $500 now. So if we get like 700 ahead with 2 days to go, maybe we can say, you know what, we'll risk 150 in the 50 pools for the next 2 nights. See what happens. See what it looks like. Interesting to see what people think about that King's hand. I don't think Emily would have been in the folding camp, and I don't think Joe would have been in the folding camp given what we discussed earlier. might be a set. Table 2. If our friend Feaster check raises again, we certainly won't be raising him until the river. He doesn't know his faults. No, I couldn't see too many bluffs either, Mark. Ace, Jack, Ace, Queen. The only ones that made like much sense. It is tough. No one likes folding trips, do they? I know I certainly fucking don't. But at the same time, if you can't see much that you beat, then I guess you have to fold. Let's see what Paul's isolating 3x with versus an 8.46 stacker. No, it is nice getting a flyer, Brendan, isn't it? Very nice to get a flyer. You're off, Mark. Good night, sir. I'll see you Saturday if you're not in between now and then. You were like a rat leaving a sinking ship, Brendan, weren't you? That ship was sinking and you were fucking going. Interesting. I don't see Joe as much of an isolator, so he gives some respect and muck the ace jack. Hey, what to do against the Easter Bunny on the 3? So here we go, Emily. This is the point now, Emily. It's not a fold for you, but you think it's the right play. So if you think it's the right play, why wouldn't you have folded? That is the killer question there. If you think something's the right play but then you choose not to make it, what is it that's making you not make the play that you think's right? I don't do curiosity, me, Brendan. I used to. Now we just sleep comfortably either way around. That ace is annoying. Just ready to just check all 3 streets against a donkey. Curiosity is quite expensive, Brendan. That's my way of looking at it. Hope this guy doesn't bomb here because we'll have to make a sad fold if he does. Versus half pot. Guess we call once. Shit river. Maybe saves us money. Maybe it saves us money. We've done this dance before with Paul, haven't we? We 3-bet him as a bluff with a suited hand and got our arse handed to us. I think we'll just call this time and let the fish come in. How does he not bet there? Sweet baby Jesus and the orphans. Just bet fold, lad. Just bet, thinking, yep, I've got the second nuts, and fold to a raise. Yeah, it was a second nuts, wasn't it? No, well, yeah, it was a second nuts because he held the 10 of diamonds. Just sat there with the second nuts on the river, and he's checking it back. What an absolute lemon. I mean, we weren't calling anyway, but nevertheless. That's why I'm like conditioned to just fold a ton in these games. Well, if he's got a straight, hallelujah for him, or he's got the higher set. Gonna go with a mega tiny bet here. Maybe not that tiny. I'm gonna call this if Joe folds. I'm gonna fold if Joe calls. 4 deuce. Give him the heart. Oh, never mind, don't give him the heart then. Good bet, sir. Unlucky. So what does this dude have? That check raises the flop, then check calls the turn. He's got quads, hasn't he? He's got quadsicles. Or 8's full. I mean, we can't fold here. Jack 9. Okay then. Okay then. Never, don't know what to say about that really. Just barrel the turn, kiddo. If you check raise the flop, just barrel the turn or give up. Don't like check call turn and then just like weirdly donk jam river. Oh, seems just, is this the same guy who's just spewed against us? Yes, it is. We're not going to 3-bet him because that feels like we're just setting him up to tilt and 4-bet us and what have you. True, Emily. Knowing and doing are very different things. I mean, it could have been a call. You could be right, I could be wrong. It could be a call, that one. That's what was close. And I guess when it's close, it matters less what you choose. Yeah, I mean, that's probably going to make the YouTube video that I'm going to be doing Friday morning. And when that goes up, I suspect many people will say it should have been a call. But we're all different. Different strokes make different folks, don't they? And for me, it was just a fault because I just couldn't think of too many bluffs that he would have. And then the value hands we beat, King Jack was really the only one. Chop with King Queen, of course. It was close on. It was far from an easy fold. I mean, it's the first time we've closed down other tables to concentrate. That's how close I thought it was. Good evening. Good session so far. Yes, it is, buddy. I'm not going to say how much we're up because we like to play the guessing game at the end for the people who've been here from the start. But yeah, we're making some pennies again, bud. Although a long way to go. We've got at least another hour to go yet. At least another hour. Sure, I'm starting to come down with some kind of shitty little fucking dry cold. Yeah. 25 people, but we're already starting to get the waiting for more players jobby going on, which is unfortunate because we haven't streamed anywhere near long enough yet tonight, just an hour and a quarter, so hopefully it's just a little blip and not a sign of things to come. And that's what I also wanted to do. We're going to make Emily a mod. Not even ask her. I'm just going to fucking take it for granted that she won't mind. And we're going to... Oh, I don't know. How did I do it? Can't remember. Did it? Mod user. There you go. If you don't want to be a mod, Emily, let me know and I'll unmod you. But you're here a lot, and in case any complete knobheads ever turn up, I need a couple of policemen or police people. PCs. You and Brendan are currently joining our friend Gregory in the mod team. You might want to call here with the 2 7s. Probably, given how spewy he's proved to be. And check back here against Joe. Feels kind of weak. Here's Queen. And we'd rather turn the straight against Nightfall, so we're only behind 2 flushes now. Unless he has the Jack Queen, of course. I think if he bets a turn, we're just going to jam, and if he's flopped a flush on us, then good luck to him. He jams anyway. Boo. Boo, 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 boo. We were running like pretty high above EV before the last 2 nights, and that's going to start coming more into line with my actual win rate now the more those things happen. Don't think he's done anything wrong there, by the way. I mean, I think his turn jam is unlikely to get called by worse very often, but I would be tempted to do the same in this situation. Over pair, second nut flush draw. Could certainly get called by some worse hands. Yeah, I'm with Brendan. You take what you get, buddy, don't you? I mean, our sessions so far in this stake have been like 3 small wins, I think, and 2 big ones. Or is it 3 small wins, 2 big ones, and 1 small loss, something like that? So yeah, you got to take it. I guess it depends how many hands you played. I mean, if you played like 5,000 hands or something, then yeah, it's probably not very. Doesn't feel too rewarding. But if you only put 2 or 3 hours in, then you got like $9 an hour. Not too bad in these games. I think if I play 3 tabled all the time, I'd be hoping for at least a $10 an hour win rate, $10 per hour hourly. Fuck you, Diamond. Fuck you, Diamond. Still going to bet though. He's more likely he's got a lot of ace-x than flushes. If he does have flushes, then we have some equity. And then we got the call on the river versus ace-jack. See, again, some people would check back here, but this pot roost just isn't the player who's going to like probe turns with there. So he's going to bet, hope he's got a king. Seems unlikely, but you never know. Turn the nuts against pot roost here, which is nice. And since I forced such a break, we're going to bomb it. Beautiful river, still got the nuts. Top 2 pair against the fish. Raisy daisy. Pot roost decides to dunk into us. Definitely have the nuts though. There's no bigger straights out there. Cheers, Emily. Very much appreciated. I mean, we don't have any trouble in the chat ever, but now and again, occasionally you get people coming in and just like spamming it, or just generally being unpleasant fuckwits. Plus 196, Paul. Not just plus 190. plus 196. Don't forget that 6. Going back to that 7 versus King's hands, again, I think that's something that would like really tilt a lot of people when they get felted. You'll have heard my reaction. It was boo, and it genuinely, it's I think like my reaction to things like that is as good as anyone in the pool, and probably better than like 99% of the pool. I tend not to even flinch when that sort of thing happens, which I know a lot of people are like, oh fuck's sake, and they get so angry about it, and they allow it to like bother them so much that it affects the rest of their session and stuff. It's another. There's like lots of like kind of subtle skills in poker that lots of guys just don't have, that I do feel I do have. Like in terms of like the technical things, I'm sure there's lots of players who have a lower win rate than me who could like talk me into a cocked hat. You know, they could like completely out-talk me in terms of poker theory and like actual the plane of poker theory. There'd be tons of guys out there who do worse than me, play lower limits, who could explain things a lot better than I can. But I've got lots of like innate skills that it's hard to quantify as how much they're worth, but I think they're worth a lot, and it's something I try and pass on to people when they come to me for help. I try and pass on like my pragmatism and calmness to them. It's not easy because we're all different, and you know, it's a very frustrating game, isn't it? I do try and like just inject some logic into these situations and just try and help people to find a similar level of calm that I have when I'm playing, but it's not an easy thing to pass on because it can't really be taught. You've got to want to be able to be that calm. I'm actually going to raise this turn with the flush draw now. I mean, it doesn't rate to have too many 7x's in his range, and if we get re-raised, it's super trivial fold. Limp re-raised. Someone's got aces. Somebody has got 2 aces, but we have to see a flop and we have to see what he does, don't we? But 9 blinds because Jacks is just too strong. I mean, I'm hoping he checks, but I think it's way more likely he's going to bet like 25 or something. Oh, even 79. We're not calling here. Oh, cheers, Brendan. So dire with it. Dire. Don't sugarcoat it, buddy. You just fucking tell it how it is. Absolutely no sugarcoating whatsoever from Brendan. Yeah, they were fucking dire. He played shite and they were fucking dire. So lobby looking like, ooh, down to 20 players and no scroll bar, which means there's only actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Only 13 actual players. What are you doing, sir? Must really want your blind, Joe. I mean, we've seen this before, go down to 20 players and then it popped back up again. Only got 2 Canada so far, so maybe some Canada and Argentina might pop in soon. I monitor it closely. I don't really want to wind the stream up too early, but do I feel like playing 50 now tonight if it drops? I don't know. I'm really enjoying it at the moment, just like knowing this player pool pretty well with all my notes. I put a lot of work into this player pool in terms of studying them, getting reads on what they're doing and things like that. I wouldn't have any of that 50, you know, it'd be a bunch of unknowns. Well, I mean, you've got to dip your toe in sometime. Maybe if it drops down to like 16, we could do half an hour of 50. And if it doesn't go well, quit the session. If it does go well, maybe extend it. Not a good flop for 2 queens. Don't think the Feaster Bunny's like really aggro post flop. Good turn for 2 queens. Just going to hope to check down here against like pocket 8 or something, aren't we? Oh, we got straight and I didn't bet it, you fuckwit. You absolute fuckwit. That's annoying. He'd be too busy just giving up on the fucking hand. King 7, he probably would have called a small bet too. Fuck off, Ridge. That tilts me more than the fucking Kings versus pocket 7s did. Tilts me fucking way more. Because I'm annoyed. Nah, probably wasn't calling. Coming up with something of a dry spell on the cards front. Queen 9 suited, bad open. Shouldn't have done it. Duly punished for it by Joe. Duly punished by Joe. Queen 9 suited is just not a middle position open for me. Not without bloody good reason anyway. Oh, Joe. Don't like folding to the 2.5x. Don't like doing it, but 9 deuce. 9 deuce, we just have to. The pool was saying there was 20 in it, Paul, but there was only like 13 unique players. When I counted up like the players in the sidebar, only 13 unique players. Now I obviously account for 3 of those seats and other multi-tablers too, because the other night when I quit the stream at like 13 players, by the time I'd finished doing bits and bobs, I was still in the stream. I was still in the pool and I was the only one, and it said 3 players in the pool, but I was the only name there. So yeah, so what it does is if there's 13 players and 20 seats taken, and I'm accounting for 3 of them, that means 12 players are taking up the last 17 seats, and some of them would be 2 tabling, some would be 3 tabling, etc. Hope I've explained that. If I haven't explained it too well, I'll try again. Yeah, the pool isn't the number of players in the lobby, like under the players bit. This bit here. So there's 23. Let's sit out a minute. set out next hand all tables whilst I explain what I'm talking about. Call that one. Now I'll explain in just a moment what I mean. I'll give a demonstration, it'll be easier. Come on, dude, get on with it. So we've got 23 players in the pool, but we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Only 16 individual players. I account for 3 of them, so that suggests most of them are one tabling and maybe 2 players are 2 tabling or 3 players are 2 tabling. Something like that. That's what I meant. And now I just read the chat back, I can fucking see it's already been explained and you got it, so that was a waste of time, but never mind. Maybe other people didn't understand it. Mostly just VPIP and PFR poll for like the key stats I'm looking for, unless I've got like a bunch of hands on people. Then I'll start looking at things like how often are they c-betting, how often are they double barreling, how often are they folding to 3 bets, that type of thing. But usually I've only got like maybe 150, 200 hands on the guys as I'm getting to know them, and for that I just put VPIP and PFR and that's it. I would have hit my queen ball, or was it a jack ball? Either way, I would have hit the fucker. So yeah, first of all, VPIP PFR, then if you've got anything noticeable, there's a few guys that have got like a really high c-bet and a really low turn barrel. Then you've got somebody like Joey the Lips, who's got like a 50-odd%, I mean this is how much of a nerd I am and how much work I put into it. I'm not sure what you see in your stats, but I see he's got a 50% c-bet but a 75% turn barrel, so I know against Joey that if I'm thinking about check calling flops, I have to know that the turn barrel's coming, so I can adjust accordingly. I can slow play more and like look to check call, knowing the turn barrel's coming with some nutted stuff, and maybe make some tighter check folds if I can't take future heat on future streets, and just things like that. How often people are double barreling, how often they're triple barreling, how often they're folding to 3 bets, how often they're 3 betting. But it's, as you know, it's all down to sample size and reliability. I don't take much on 3 bet stats unless they're outrageous. If I've got to say 500 hands on somebody and they're playing 32-25 with a 17 3 bet, I don't believe there's 3 betting 17% over the long term, but at the same time I can put probable high 3 bet in my notes because I know it's going to be higher than average. It's not going to be 17, but it might end up being 10 or 11 or something, which is obviously way over the norm. So I do stuff like that, and I spend quite a bit of time doing it too, and I'm constantly like updating. I mean, Gelland Vegan, who we talked about last night, we thought was like bad, like a bad regular, is not as aggressive as I thought he was. He just looks more aggressive because he's using bonkers pre-flop sizes, but actually his stats are pretty passive. He's like well, not pretty passive, he's like 23-21 with a 7-3 bet or something. So yeah, I'm just looking for like VPIP PFR to begin with, stuff like that, and then I'm looking for things that are unusual. If it's VPIP PFR and it's standard, and then the post swap pretty standard, I'm not really taking much notice of that. But if I see anything that's unusual, and you often will, you'll see people with like super low c bets, they'll be like 32/27 with a 31%. With a 31% c bet, so you're like, right, well, this guy's like super laggy pre-flop but pretty passive post-flop, and there's quite a few of those guys around. Like, I love FIFA 17's one of them. Pre-flop is pretty manic, but post-flop is pretty honest. So it's just knowing stuff like that, you know, because sometimes you'll think, oh, this guy's super aggro, he's 32, 50, 32, like 29 or something like that. And then post-flop, they've got a 1-1 sort of flop of like 40, and that just suggests that they're really quite weak, bad post-flop players. So yeah, this is the sort of stuff I'm looking for, but I spend a long time doing it because I'm not playing through the day these days. We're just running time. I'm playing it when I'm streaming, so I've got lots of time through the day where I can do like lots more of that type of work, and I think it's paying off. To be fair, I think it really is paying off. When I was playing these games like 3 years ago, I was doing that on a daily basis, and my results were off the fucking charts. We were like 11 bigs 100, and then I moved away from the game, started doing some other things when the bots started taking over and people were using illegal HUDs and stuff. And then I only played from time to time. I didn't know anything about anybody. I didn't really understand the pool, and my win rate dropped to like 5 bigs 100. And now I'm putting the work in again, and I think I've got a really good feel for how the pool plays. And yeah, I expect my win rate to go up significantly. This is interesting. This guy is a confirmed donk, I think. But I don't think I want to squeeze. No, in fact, of course I fucking want to squeeze. Of course we want to squeeze. And we're afraid we're just going to have to call it off as well, by the way, if he just goes all in now. Not a chance. How did he just call him? At 27 big blinds, kid? How do you just fucking call? I mean, I'm pretty sure this guy's got like a high 40s VPIP. Well, we flopped really, really well though, so we'll not complain about the situation anymore. Do it. Oh, cute. Hope he hasn't got pocket nines. 5-7 suited. That would have hurt as well. That one would have hurt. I wouldn't have tilted, but fuck me, it would have hurt. He called 27 or 28, whatever it was, big blinds pre-flop with 7 fucking high. And that's like, you know, your EV there, you've ran way above EV, so it makes you look like you're lucky and you're sucking out on people and what have you. But the cunt shouldn't have had no business being in the flop, and all of a sudden we've got it all in against someone we had like who shouldn't have been in the hand, and you know, we end up running like whatever 40 bigs above EV, 50 bigs above EV, and it makes you look like you're playing shit and you're just not. That was fucking bonkers. That was bonkers, but we'll absolutely fucking have it. Yeah, most of the time, Joe. You've got some very easy adjustments there if that's what I always do against you. Yeah, most of the time though, especially if someone's caps the range like you did. I'm gonna just like, I mean, if we didn't turn the additional equity with the 7, I might just have checked back. But once we got the 7 as well, I'm like, right, well, I've got 15 outs. Even if Joe raises here, we can just go with it and hope to get lucky. I think you can do less off the table work, Emily, with when you're using HUD stats and things, but when you don't have HUD stats available to you, but you do have the option and the ability to go in and like study your opponents, if you're not doing it, then I think it's hard to expect to have like a really high win rate, especially if you're looking to like try and exploit people as best you can. I almost never look at fold to steal. It's not something I'm that bothered about, because I'm not like an excessive stealer. So it's not a stat I really pay much attention to be completely honest with you, Emily. That's not to say it's not a valuable stat. It's just not one that I really get wired into very much. Do I use went to showdown or won at showdown? Neither really. Nah, woman saw flops like the only kind of thing like that I use. Again, you've got to have like really good sample sizes for went to showdown and won at showdown. I mean, obviously, if I saw somebody who's got like a 37% went to showdown and won at showdown like 42%, then obviously we'd look at them and think, right, value bet the crap out of them. But again, anything in like showdown terms between like went to showdown 25 to 29 and won at showdown 50 to 55. There's not much to be gleaned from that. There's not much difference between a lot of them. Not enough for me to warrant my like super close attention anyway. I'd only look at stuff like that if it was like someone went to showdown 21% or something like that, 22%, then yeah, I'd be looking to bluff them a lot more and like call down versus them more, because it suggests they're doing a lot of folding or a lot of bluffing. Yeah, again, showdown stats, not something that I'm super mad on. I like the stuff that converges quickly and just gives you a general idea about how people approach the game. Like a 22/11, they're attack fish, they're in there just trying to nut pedal. So like 22/11 are nut pedalers, so when we get raised by them post flop, we can, or 3-bet by them pre flop, we can let hands go easily. If we have someone who's like a 32/35/30 with a 1-1 saw flop of 49 or something like that, then we can look to try and trap them and call them down wider. So I'm looking at stuff like that really, more than stats that take a long time to converge and become reliable. Yeah, a while back, Paul, with illegal HUDs, there was a way where you could like combine two pieces of software to have a HUD on these snap games. And I think people were doing it for a while and they were getting reported and people were getting suspected, and I think Triple H seems to me that they've dealt with it, because a lot of the accounts I thought were probably getting some sort of extra assistance aren't here anymore, they're not playing anymore. So yeah, I think they were combining something called hand to note, and I think it might have been this Triple H caption that I'm using. They were combining the two to get themselves like a live HUD, which is obviously massively against Triple H's terms of service. So yeah, that's what I meant by illegal HUDs. What's my note on this dude? Possible donkey. So I'm going to call versus the possible donkey, and now we're going to call down versus the possible donkey, and we're going to hope he doesn't have the cure for our king queen. Now, I did a video last year about telling people to avoid these games because they were clearly being cheated. I don't think that's the case anymore. You can tell by how little the games run and just like how weak the pools are that that's just not the case anymore. But it was certainly the case last year. There's absolutely like bots and people using HUDs in these games cheating. I don't think that's the case anymore, and we're going to fold this king queen here quite easy. Anyways, I've been sat here with my fucking vape open for 10 minutes while I've been rabbiting on. Not sure where my fucking juice is. I hope it's just behind the laptop. Oh, we have a follower. Who is the follower? Quick, where'd you get there, quick? Oh, I missed it. We'll have a look in a minute. It'll pop up on stream in a minute. Whoever you were, thank you ever so much. I'm too busy looking for vape juice, I'm afraid. There it is. There it is. Oh, that was my knee. Yeah, I'll find out who you were in a minute. Apologies for not thanking you right in the moment, whoever you were. Streamlabs might tell me. Mr. Expectro. Oh, he's hosted me. Even better. Thank you ever so much for the host, Mr. Expectro. Really, really do appreciate it. Thank you ever so much. I shall pop along and find you after the stream and give you a follow and try and join your stream at some point in the future. How many's in the lobby? Oh, the game's going. We've gone back up to 25. Hopefully we can retain some of Mr. Spectro's Espetro's viewers for at least a short while. If anyone coming over from Mr. Spetro stream wants to hit the subscribe button, sorry, the follow button, you certainly wouldn't get too many complaints from me. Thank you, Mr. Espectro. Espectro. Genuinely do appreciate it. I will absolutely make it my mission at the end of my stream to find your channel and stick it in my favourites bar. I will absolutely look out for you next time you're streaming, and if I can return the favour with the host, absolutely will. I'm not sure why they're not allowed, Paul, but I like it. I like the fact that they're not. I think it will be a far harder game if they were, because I think it keeps lots of regulars away. I think no HUD absolutely puts off tons and tons of regulars. If they all of a sudden started allowing HUDs, I think the games would instantly get much worse. So long may it continue. I'm in favour of banning all HUDs in all sites and all games. Allow people to track their results and what have you, and leak find using their own hands, but not having a live working HUD I think would make games better very quickly. I think it'd be an instant way to improve games. I think you've got to be careful what you wish for. And before HUDs were really much of a thing, poker was a lot softer. And I'm not saying you go back to boom times, but yeah, I think you wanting a HUD on here wouldn't do you as many favours as you think in the long term, because all it would do, it would just attract more regulars from other sites who would then come and try and like take advantage of the softer pools. Before you know it, you just have like ever so slightly softer than Zoom games rather than significantly softer than Zoom games. So yeah, let's not be making a lobby for HUDs on Snap. Right, you're a tournament player, Mr. Espetro. And you just do stream across like just one site, you just play one site, or are you one of these guys who plays across multiple? I think as a MTT grinder, it's either stars or mixing up all the sites, isn't it? If I was started playing MTTs, I'd have like literally every site open, and I'd probably play everything I could that had like a $5 to $20 buy-in, I guess, and just expect to have lots and lots of nights where I just wanted to slip my wrists. You have to ask yourself, Joe, why are sites like Sky, GG, Unibet and Snap all softer games? What have they all got in common? You know, and then you really want to invite people to start using HUDs, or you want to lobby for people for HUDs to be available in these games. There's a reason why you're playing in these games and why you play on Sky and things. It's because you're trying to find softer pools and softer games. If you then defeat that by saying, oh, come on, bring your HUDs over, let's all have HUDs, then you're going to create a very different environment for yourself. I mean, if Sky was on better software and you could use Hold'em Manager, it wouldn't be the fish fest that it is. So, you know, to me, it's a fair trade-off. No HUDs, softer games, very fair trade-off, and it absolutely rewards those that work the hardest outside of the games, outside of the playing time. Didn't need to bet there, actually. I think we could maybe have considered checking back. And now we're going to have to call it off, and I wish I hadn't bet. But pair on a flush draw versus this size in getting nearly 2 to 1, it's a trivial call. actually in front. Tomorrow's another day, you're not wrong. And you've also now started putting the Annie song running through my head. I'm not going to sing it to you because my singing voice wouldn't be the best. But yeah, and all I can see now is a little ginger-haired kid running around, prancing around, rabbiting on about the sun coming up. Good chance we're going to triple here with the ace jack. The 8's not the best of rivers to barrel off on. Gets a lot of two pairs, some of his straights get there. Some of his straight draws, and I made a pair that he might not be willing to fold. So I was going to triple off, but not on the 8. I think it makes too many of the hands from his flop calling range. 8-6, probably could have got through that one. Probably could have got through the 8-6 there, but never mind. Read the hand relatively well. We knew the 8 hit him somewhere or other, probably. This is definitely a spot where I'd consider donking top pair. I think it's going to check through a lot. You know, that backdoor flush draw. Very rare that I make a donk bet, but this is one of the times we could. Brendan said, you've hosted us once before, Mr. Spectro. I'm very sorry for not remembering that. I will absolutely return the favour at some point. We've been raised here with our donk bet. It's such a small raise that we need to see a turn. And now we can. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I mean, this just looks like a draw all over, but what draw? You know me, I hate paying off, but this might be one of the ones where we do. He was big blind. He limped. We made it 6x. He's called. And now he's jammed over our c-bet. Fuck it. Fold. PokerStars Spain. Oh, I'd love to play on PokerStars Spain. So what's your average buy-in then, buddy? What range of games do you play? What's the lowest tournament you buy into, and what's like top of your knowledge? I'm presuming you play some higher ones at the weekend sometimes, but on a standard grind for you, what sort of like buy-in range are you targeting? Pretty shite turn card on table 3, so we'll just be going with the check fold. Good morning, Chris. How are you, stranger? How the devil are you, sir? And Joe's off. Good night, sir. Take care, buddy. Hope we will catch up with you again tomorrow. Down to 13 now in this pool. I think we're going to have to call it a night. How long will we be going for now? Nearly got our 2 hours in. So I think we'll call it, rather than play 50, I think we'll call it a night. 50 don't look that great, just 3 UK, 4 Ukraine. No, we'll do a 50 no recce for like 10 minutes, 20 minutes. If we drop more than 1 buy-in, we'll be out of there. And we'll just set on next hand. Okay, it can't be us waiting for them all. So yes, we're going to play 50L for maybe half an hour. And if it doesn't go well, then knock it on the head early. But we'll just have a quick recce at it. Because there's 31 players in there still. And we'll see what's going on. Too thin to value at the King 6 here now. You can have some 5x that wants to bluff some spades. You might check call the river. Not against that size bet though. We get squeezed with the jacks. Wow, I was going to back raise jam on this dude, but we'll just not bother now, given he's put the big 4 bet in. Don't know any of these players. It's like playing in the dark again all of a sudden. Do not know any of these players, so we're going to say that just maybe trying to get heads up and what have you. 3 betting some hands we would sometimes want to call with if we knew fish and things were in the blinds. Not the greatest of flops, but I think we can see when it backdoor spades, ace high. This guy's likely to have like a weak ace, King X. Not too many hands that call the turn are going to fall this 7 river though, so I guess we'll just give up. It's not really a shot, Paddy. We're just Paddy, Brendan. We're just going to play it for half an hour, and if and just give them a recce. I mean, I had no intention of playing it again tomorrow. Pretty much just to see what's going on in the games. We've got half an hour. It's the worst that can happen. We lose like $50 or something, which is unlikely. And we're certainly back to 50. That's so we're certainly back to 30. Not tomorrow at the start of the stream. Whatever happens, we'll be back to 30. Win or lose. I think we can certainly expect to see some more aggressive play in these games than we've seen in the 13-0 pools. Weasel 921, I think he's a streamer from the UK, is he? If he's not, then he's got a similar name. He's a tribute to a UK streamer. Excuse me. $5 to 109. That's one hell of a fucking range of buy-ins, isn't it? If I played a bunch of 109s and then the hot 500, the hot fucking $5 or whatever the fuck they call them, started up, I'd have a hard time raking the hot $5 or whatever they call it. But I guess you need to do it, don't you? If you're a multi-table tournament player, you've got to get that volume in. Easy squeeze with the queens. Top set, we like that. We like a bit of top set action. If he's got the 10 jack, then it's time to go to bed. Queen 10, happy days. Happy days. We actually have a note on this dude. Possible donkey. We're fishing the blinds though, so we're not going to 3-bet, we're just going to call. It's pretty sweet when you are having a little look at a higher limit and you manage to plop top set and have someone drawn nearly dead in a 3-bet pot. I'd rather have been drawing completely fucking dead, of course, but you can't have everything. Yeah, it's been okay, buddy. We'll have a look at the end exactly what the numbers are. I know what they are, but I don't like to spoil the reveal at the end. But yeah, it's gone okay, bud. It's for sure gone okay. Again, we're not going to 3-bet the ace jack. I don't know half a clue this guy is, but we do have 2 guys with fish tags. We get squeezed, and I don't like being squeezed when I've got ace jack. It's not my idea of fun. Ace queen again, could easily be a 3-bet, but again we have a fish in the blinds, and I like to try and let fish in where we can. Disappointing turn card, table 2. Probably not much we can do versus a double barrel. It's mostly low and middle, right? I see. I don't like if I was a tournament player, I wouldn't like just play just a few big buying games, because I imagine they're going to be the ones that shape your month. If your average buying is $20, but you're taking maybe 20 to 30 $109 games a month, then I would imagine that those are going to completely shape your month, just how well you're running them. But I don't really know. I don't play the games, I don't play tournaments, so I could be talking complete fucking bollocks there. This donk bet looks like bullshit, but we have ace-5, so we can allow bullshit to prevail from time to time. Feels like we have less time banking these 15-hour games, which I don't mind. It makes me less snipeable. Six ball. Nice blue 6 right about there, please. 8. It's not a blue 6, is it? Fucking 8. That's a blue 6 though. It's very much a blue 6. Chop chop. Top set again. We're running well with the fucking sets lately. We're running very well with the sets. No pay though. Good night, Mr. Spectro. Very much appreciate the host, buddy. Thank you ever so much. anytime I can return the favour, I absolutely will. I'll certainly look out for you at the end of every stream. If you're still going when I'm finishing, you're gonna get my gang coming over. Ace Jack suited. I think we need to see a flop. And 7-8 suited in position. We definitely need to see a flop. That is a fun flop too. We're certainly going to be hitting the raise button if you see bets. We're going to check call here once. Oh, that's not a good turn card to barrel on. It looks very much to me like this dude has an overpair. Imagine just like Beck folding his pocket king, sorry, his ace king, ace queen, stuff like that. So we're not going to barrel this turn because he's just not going to fold. If he's got kings, aces, queens, etc., none of them are folding. So we may as well just take the free card that our raise bought us. And miss with it, which is disappointing. But once guys like bet call with a 3-bet pot, it's just super unlikely. I mean, if we check back here when he's showing us like an ace king or an ace queen, then I guess unlucky for us. But I just think he's going to turn up with pairs way too often. Ace queen, that is disappointing. That is disappointing, but never mind. Obviously in future, if we know we can like bet call ace queen there, then we can adjust our turn barreling ranges. But we didn't know that at the time. I just presumed, oh, he's bet called, so he's got a hand he's not willing to fold on the turn, especially on a brick like the 3. We beat almost nothing here, but we're getting whatever that is, nearly 10 to 1, 9 to 1. Yeah, we lose to the flush. Can't say I'm surprised. I'm going to go all in with the ace king to get this dude out if we can. Could have considered just calling there and just like check jamming any flop, but I think I'm happy just I'm going to check here and let him bet. Maybe try and rep like ace king or something. Maybe he just like bets ace queen or something like that. Maybe if we check, it doesn't, but the 3 is completely harmless. You hope. Yeah, we'll do, Paul. If you can't find it, it is like Brendan said. It's literally just 888 caption. You Google 888 caption, it'll be the top result. And just like download the latest version. You get it on free trial for like I don't know how many days. Then I think it costs something like $25 for a 12-month license. It's obviously $25 worth spending. You are correct, Brendan. If it's over If you're playing higher than 10NL, you do have to pay, but it's a nominal fee. Cheers, Paul. Good night, buddy. We're not going to be playing too much longer, I wouldn't have thought. I'm not massively in love with this situation on table 1, but I think we're just going to have to just like bet and not fold the turn. I mean, I'm worried about sets, obviously, but when aren't I worried about sets? When am I not worried about sets? Pretty much always. That river. What do we do with this river? And I'm also worried about him just having aces or kings too. This guy has took a weird line. Christ, it's all going on. Check this. I think we have to call this. What's he just called with twice? And we miss with the ace king. Well, we can't complain, we just ran pretty good in 2 pots, but he's going to go all in, one would imagine. Get this 100 big blind pot. I've literally no clue what to do on the turn when he checks. There's no sense bluffing into like what's going to be a dry side pot. He goes all in. We just have to fold, don't we? Pocket queens versus 6-8. We were fucked. Ducking and weaving at the right time, guys. I like that. We're ducking and diving at all the right times. Cheers for the link, Brendan. I shall absolutely 100% click that at the end of the stream. Let's create up at the 50NL games. Doesn't beat 30NL. Sat in the 50 pool. If we just call here, we're just going to continue on blue ones, kings and aces, and that's it really. And check on the jack. I mean, we could just block bet like 6 or something, like 2. Maybe get some value from like pocket 10s now. Next, in fact, I think I like betting 6 better than I like checking. now I don't like betting anymore because he doesn't call with pocket 8s, pocket 9s, pocket 10s anymore. I think you just like checking and probably folding. Even though I don't think he bets a queen turn on this river unless it's queen jack or queen king. But against someone who's as passive as he is, I think the call in there would just be setting $10 on fire. Given he's called, I think we need to come in. I don't like calling 10 big blind 3-bets out of position with ace jack, but it's suited and there's a fish in the blinds that's come along too, so probably need to. I think if we do come to these games, I think we'll have to get used to being 3-bet more pre-flop and then figure out some better strategies than I currently have. Given that my current like 30-L default strategies don't incorporate facing too many 3-bets because we just don't face too many 3-bets. Pretty damn good flop for the ace king. Don't want to finish just yet. I know it's getting late, it's 2:10. It's getting to the time when all us good boys and girls should be going to bed, but we've got 14 viewers, which is nice. We are taking a look at a higher limit, which is always exciting and interesting. And the no music trial doesn't appear to have affected our overall numbers, so we'll be no musicing it again tomorrow night too, and this video will be uploaded to YouTube. I'm not gonna bluff in a multi-way pot here with like nothing more than like shit backdoor equity. We're going to tighten up some of our early position ranges whilst we're not sure about what types of players we have behind us. That's one way to counter getting 3-bet a little bit more when we're out of position, just open tighter. I think when you move up a limit, it's nice to try and continue playing like the game that's allowed you to like win enough to move up, but at the same time I think it can often be quite prudent and quite sensible to just lob off like the bottom of your ranges from every position and just like tighten up. For example, I'm like 22-17, 22-16, something like that. When you move up, just toning that down to say like 19-15 or something, in the short term at least, till you get like a feel for what's happening in the games. It can't be bad advice, it can't be a bad idea. I'm going to call here if he bets. I'm going to lose to pocket 10s. He made a pretty good value bet there. He checks twice, feel obliged to take a stab. If he did call, it wouldn't be like a barrel river either, it would just be a right, fair enough. 10 high, no good, move on. Just 2 in 30 now. One of them's eggy though, which is almost worth just going and sitting the fucker and playing him. I'm not going to, but it's almost worth it. Pretty big C bet from Les Create here. Still going to try for a check raise though with that gut shot. Maybe not the best candidate to try it against, but nevertheless we did. And we're just giving up. I mean, maybe, who knows, just off chance he might have just called us with a draw that's bricked and we just get to show our hand down as a winner. I doubt it. I think he's either going to bet and we're going to lose, or he's going to check and we're going to lose, but you never know. He checks and we win. So look at that. He didn't try and buy a pot on the river. I think I probably would have if it was him. In fact, no, I probably would just a 3-bet the flop and said fuck you. Probably would have been my line there. Can we just have one Carpenters? Right at the end. We'll play Carpenters whilst we're looking back at the session. No, because then again YouTube might mute the whole fucking thing. So no, I'm afraid we can't, buddy. I'm afraid we can't. At first I was thinking yes we can, but YouTube might just mute the entire fucking video then, and that would hurt. Pretty tempted to just fold the ace king here against an unknown. It's either jam or fold, isn't it? And we are 150 blinds deep, so we're going to go with the fold. Regular viewers of the stream will know I'm really not even close to being an all-in pre-flop merchant. And we can certainly fold these pocket eights to 2 massive bets. very loose open by my standards from the cut off there, but we did have a fish in the blinds in my defence. Probably have to call one here if he bets, I think. He just squeezed with the jacks. Hope he doesn't bet here, because we probably have to fold if he does. Bet's really big. On this board texture we're going to bet pretty big. I think we just fold here, don't we? 3 of diamonds is fucking minging. 2 of diamonds is even worse. Picked up a gut shot here and I'm over card. There's just not much chance he's bluffing when he bets into 3 players. Very deep here. I've had a pretty big 4-bet. Disappointing we get the folds, but when we're 300 blinds deep, I ain't putting. I mean, even that's not a particularly big 4-bet given how deep we are. In position, we can maybe make it a bit smaller, but out of position, I don't want to be giving people position on me cheap, super deep, when we've got like a pretty strong range. It's not going to be too hard to define. Two easy calls here. So we just call down against this dude. If he's got us beat, then he's got us beat. We can't really flop top pair in a 3-bet pot and want to fold it to this SPR. It's a shocker of a flop. Absolute shocker. It certainly feels like we're getting 3-bet a lot more in these games. So that's something I'm going to bear in mind for when we do eventually take a shot. I'm definitely going to tighten up our ranges a little bit. He just flopped the absolute fucking stone nuts there, which is nice for him. Yeah, I think we're going to play tighter with our opening ranges and maybe make our raises smaller, so that's a good adjustment to make when you're in games where 3-betting is much more prevalent post-flop. But it's 2:20. I think we are going to call it a night now. Let's sit out the big blinds. Time to start getting your guesses in for how much you've made this session. I guess only Brendan and Emily, if she's still here, can be the only ones who can have a really good guess because they've been around for the whole session. Let's fire up good old Holden Manager. So what's your guesses, guys? Anyone gets within $10 of the actual amount that we're up, I will donate £5 to a charity of their choice. If you're out by $10.01, then tough tits, and do not make the donation. Oh, piss off. Get off my screen. Preloading hands, it just does it every time. Don't know why. And then that's too big. And we've got 7-8 that we need to fold. It's all going tits up at the end, isn't it? It's all going tits up. That should be sized to fit this window. It clearly isn't anymore. It was. It isn't now. So get your guesses in, guys. Anyone who gets within $10 wins a little bit for charity. I'll just get this sized better. Nearly right. That's going to be good enough now, isn't it? So I think we've left it long enough for the guesses to come in. Let's go. Plus 11196. Pretty nice shape graph. Showdown winnings dropping right off, probably when we got started playing 50 maybe. Not sure how many hands of 50 now we played, but I'm not surprised because I was certainly playing somewhat passively in those games. Slightly above EV tonight. That was the 15L hand, wasn't it? Any interesting hands to look at, really? 7 is the one we lost. Ah, yeah, I remember this one. We made a straight, didn't we? He squeezed, we called. He c-bet the flop, we called. And a good shot, we turned the good shot. He overbet shoved. We called, and he rivered a flush. Yep. Look at the losing pots, more interesting than the winning ones probably. So we... right, this was this dude, wasn't it? This was right at the start of the session. Anyone that missed it, we 3-bet kings. This guy called this 85-38 dude. He bet the flop, we raised, he jammed, we snap called, loving the situation. Only to find he'd flopped the 2 pairs. And that looks about it really, doesn't it, for the interesting ones. What's this one? I don't remember this one. 50 now, we open, we get 3 bets. Nice one, looks like a regular we have to call. Flop super good. Bet, raise, he doesn't fold. He turned up with ace queen, didn't he? I'm not sure what to think of his play there on the flop. I mean, usually we're going to barrel turns. That's like one of the only turns we're not going to barrel. I guess I probably still should have actually. I think I made a mistake here. Think on the turn. 33 in the pot, 33 effective. That should just be a jam, shouldn't it? But would have jammed me full houses there. Would have even... He had raised a set on the flop probably. No, wouldn't actually. Yeah. I think that was maybe me being just a little bit hesitant because it was 50 rather than 30. I think at 30 there I would just have shoved the turn, and if he's got an overpair then we still got 15 out, so that turn should be a shove. Naughty Reggie. Anyways, leave it there. Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I certainly enjoyed doing it again. We booked yet another profit, another winning session. We spun the 600 now up to 1192. At our peak we were up over 1200. We doubled the investment, but I'm sure that'll come with the rate back and what have you, and hopefully a few more winning sessions. So yeah, I'll be back tomorrow night, probably about the same time as last night tonight, 11:30, 11:45ish. and I hope you all have a fantastic Thursday. Take care, everybody, and bye-bye for now.